21F and 27M. I need desperate help. Long story. Will I be okay? I, 21F, met him, 27M, last year in January. I used to be this happy, jolly girl. Dating, relationships had never been my thing. I was very happy with myself, with my own doings. Then he came. We started going out, and after our first kiss, I told him I didn't want a relationship and that I don't believe in marriage, and he was okay with it too. There were many times I pushed him away, but we would always end up meeting. We always came back to each other for some reason. I was still not interested, nor did I feel anything. I was living my own life to the fullest. Over time, we got very close and comfortable with each other. Went out for movies, lunch dates and more. But over time, I developed such strange feelings for him I was never familiar with. I grew so much in love with him over time. But I hadn't said anything yet. We were amazing together. Almost like a couple in love, but we were not. We didn't have a label. September and October were the best times I had experienced with him. And out of nowhere, and surprises me to this day, that he met my mom accidentally at her workplace, out of town, where he was transferred for short time. He introduced himself to my mom with some harmless lie, and my mom, she told me about him that, oh, I saw this young boy at work. I knew it was him, he had told me earlier. But I didn't expect my mom to tell me. And said that he reminded her of her brother who passed away during COVID. So she developed this emotional attachment with him, with time, after months. Now he is somewhere a part of family now. She invites him over for dinner from time to time. Includes him in every family occasions. But the thing is, she doesn't know a single thing about us except for a lie we made up saying we have met before in art exhibition. It surprises her too. It has been so long, she loves him now, calls him her son. So yeah, whatever. Again, in November we discussed to end things because I was scared for myself. So we ended things in first week of November, but it was my birthday on 27th, so we met again. He wanted to. I had this small get-together with my co-workers, so we both went there, and for the first time, I introduced him to them as my boyfriend. It was a beautiful day. We were pretending in front of them. But wasn't really, we were just being ourselves. Then we went to IKEA date, and that was it. It was a beautiful night. Until we had this one particular conversation once again about how his family was looking for a girl for him for an arranged marriage, and he wanted someone from his culture, which I completely understood even though I felt ruined. He had told me that long ago, which hadn't really affected me at the time, but now it was different. I had nothing to say. My love for him grew so much that it started consuming me completely. When he was right there in front of me, I couldn't be ready. But now when I am ready for him, he is not. So for once more, this time more seriously. We ended things in December completely, and I told him how I felt for him and all, and I couldn't see him getting married to someone else. He had nothing to say. He let me go so easily. My expectations of his words became false again. I was broken. I started drinking to deal with the pain and to distract myself. I am okay now, I stopped. We went out of contact completely for several months until I ran into him at a mall on Valentine's Day. We talked about our whereabouts as if we were some old school friends. I felt very strange. I ran back home and immediately sent him a text. We had an argument about his lack of communication. It was a bad argument. First time saw that side of him. He reminded me of how I was the one who didn't want to get married or have a relationship. And he believed this relationship wouldn't go anywhere. He was right. I indeed did this all to myself. We again went out of contact until March. He was leaving for vacation, so he wanted to check on me before he left, he said. He wanted to meet before leaving, so I was excited to see him. Did my hair and makeup and everything only for him to not show up. For once again. I felt like a clown. Out of contact again for a while until he texted me again saying he missed me. We chatted as if nothing had happened. Fast forward. After some day I found out, stalking skills, that his ex follows him and he follows back. Not that I have any problem with them. She is a beautiful woman. I don't mind them being friends, but she had cheated on him, and in our span of a year together they hadn't followed each other, so seeing that all of a sudden, It felt like the world coming to an end. I felt not anger but disgust. I felt some kind of hatred towards him. That night I swore to myself that I was never going to see him again no matter what. He doesn't know that I know, so fast forward. He came back and he came home for dinner. My mom invited him for dinner, he came. He hugged me with such passion when he entered the door. Mom was in the kitchen. He stayed over for 6 hours. We all watched movie, played cards. I forgot the promise I had made to myself. We had mutually agreed to never do this again, but he kissed me so beautifully. It was after 3 months we had seen each other. He brought me a beautiful gift. Made me happy. I was happy. Until 2 days ago. He came over, stayed overnight. I was home alone for a week. We had a beautiful night. He left in the morning. And he hasn't texted. And for once again out of contact. I don't know how to deal with this. The confusions and my questions are eating me up alive. I could live with the love I have for him, but not these questions and confusion I have. Does he feel nothing? Do he not care? Do I not matter? The guilt I carry with me is heavier than all of this. The guilt of saying I didn't want a relationship and pushing him away. I will forever have to live with this guilt. I wish he would speak. Whatever he has in his mind I would accept. He says nothing. How can he have nothing to say? It aches so much that I decided to move out of this town for 2 years for college. I am moving in September in hope to never see him again once I am out, and when I back I hope my heart doesn't feel heavy when I see him. Please say anything. Help me deal with this.